Hey, what is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, of course, in today's video, we are going to be talking about some ADA Cardano. Now, I know you guys are used to being able to see me on the screen, but of course, I did have an incident last night. If you do follow me on Twitter, I did let you know there. I had surgery 2 weeks ago, and I had a bit of an incident last night that caused my knee to swell up and fill with blood, and I had to get rushed to the doctor. And it was a very long night, but we're back, we're all good to go, and we're just going to keep this train on rolling. So with that being said, of course, let's go ahead and let's jump into today's video. Well, since last video we were going to be right in here, and I'm going to actually show you a quick little clip from it just to talk about what we were expecting and what we've seen. Let's play this real quick. Again, we cleared 218, we cleared 217. We can go to estimate that more than likely we have enough Fibonacci extension levels to execute at least to $2.36, but for sure, in my opinion, to retest that all-time high. And I think at that point, the excitement would for sure give us that closing. And so what we saw there, of course, is I was basically just saying I was under the full-blown belief that if we were going to be able to see ourselves clear $2.18, which was this level right here, that we would then be able to execute on our all-time high at around $2.50 to $2.55. So of course, if you did get on that breakout, of course, that was a bit of a trade of about 16% in less than a day. So definitely big congratulations to you. And yeah, so now we're going up. We're setting a new all-time high. We've set it already, which is of course absolutely phenomenal. So let's talk about what we can expect going forward, what things I'm going to be watching out for, and when I would be buying more personally. Now, you guys do know, especially if you are in the Patreon, that in the Patreon we did make our last purchase at $1.05. We made a purchase here at $1 around 7 cents, and one right here about $1.01. And since then, the price, has been absolutely flying. And so in terms of when I'm buying, I'm definitely being a little bit more picky because I'm still up about 145% in, and I'm not feeling any FOMO or anything like that, of course. And so with that being said, when exactly would I be buying personally, and then when do I think that we can start to tell that maybe it's time to stop buying, okay? Because some people will always tell you, you shouldn't buy on the way up, and I don't think that's necessarily true, because I think if this thing is, say, going to $3.40, which you guys know is my price target, why not be able to buy a little bit more at $2.70? Why not buy a little bit more at $2.88? You know what I mean? Even though it's going up, you can still be dollar cost averaging in and making money, even if your average is going up. But of course, it does add much more risk because, again, your average cost is going up. And so the amount of time that it'll take for you to break even or start losing money is going to decrease as your average cost does increase. But with that being said, what I'm personally expecting, of course, is that we will see a pullback at some point, or we're going to see a massive coil up here, which is just going to look like a lot of consolidation, maybe like 3 or 4 bars here, 5 bars, and then boom, a big shot up to that $2.88 mark, which is my next pit stop. That's where I think we're going to see the next event happen to if we do see a breakout of this nature again. So there's a few different ways in which this can play out. One in which I think we can see this play out, again, is I think that there's still a good chance we may come back down and establish some support on this 786 here, or even our 618, but optimally our 786. And if that was the case and we start to see the push back up, I would definitely be looking to see. I think that would be a great buying opportunity, personally speaking, of course, because that then there's a strong likelihood at this point, as we have probably started to enter into price discovery, that gives us enough support to then rocket fuel, boom, right back up to 288. So I think that's buying opportunity number one. I think for a short-term trade, that could be a great buy with probably a stop loss set somewhere within this range, maybe around $2.05 to around $2. I think that would definitely serve well, because if we were to lose that, we could for sure be looking at more of an extensive pullback, probably back down to like $1.90, $1.85. But anyway, so when I would be buying personally, though, not on a short term, but just increasing my position in the long term, is still buying on these EMAs, right? And so personally, the daily EMAs haven't really been in interaction recently, so I think we should probably start on the 4-hour EMA. Now, I'm just going to remind you guys, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just a random dude on YouTube, so don't take this, take this with a grain of salt, of course, and use this as a, just a tool of research, but not your main level of research. But what I would be looking at personally is an interaction with our EMAs before I started to buy again. So if we saw the price start to come back down and we start to see it consolidate on our red, on our orange EMA here, which is of course our 20 EMA and our 50 EMA on the 4-hour, but even our 100 EMA, I would say buying on these EMAs has served well as a great buying opportunity in uptrends. But of course, do understand that if we're going to lose this, and if we're going to start to roll back over and start to see an extensive fall, of course, that we may start to bounce off these EMAs, right? We may see something like this, a bounce, a bounce. So there is inherent risk. There's a lot of risk associated with buying on the EMAs, of course, because those are also going to dictate if we're starting to fall back over and go back into a bit of like a, you know, some price retracement, right? We're going to see a big retracement before the continuation. So it's not 100% proof, but maybe if you do see the, you know, if I was to see the price start to consolidate and find some support on the 50, I may throw a little bit of money in, just a little bit there, just to try to increase that position, to keep trying to take advantage of it, as I do believe we're going to start to work our way up to $2.88 very, very soon. So with that being said, I would definitely not be buying unless we are working on some EMAs and finding some support there. I think buying when we're getting extended off of them simply is just not the best idea ever, just because the amount of risk that is added when you do that is so much greater. Now, if you just want to absolutely just ape in and, you know, you don't want to wait and you want to do that, of course there's always that option. I don't honestly recommend FOMOing in because you're worried about us going up to set this new high. Personally, I would say that at minimum I would be looking to find that we are able to establish some support somewhere. I would say if we can establish some support on this all-time high, maybe if we do coil up here for a little while, I would say that then maybe that could be a good buying opportunity, maybe after 3 or 4 days, as it does look like the level could possibly hold, and then that gives you a great chance to get in. But even if you were to do that and we're extended off of our EMA still, do be prepared. You know, I hope you have the emotional durability to know that the price could roll over, come establish some support on our EMA, on our Fibonacci extension before working our way in, and hopefully you don't buy high and sell low because you're freaking out, of course, because that's just not good. That's not going to last very long if you do it like that, of course. And so the whole point of this video, I guess, is just to say that I'm still waiting to see that on our dailies and on our 4 hours that we come back down and we interact with our EMAs before I go to buy any more at all here. But I still do have my high price predictions that we will start to work our way back up, first and foremost to our $2.83 to $2.88 region. As you can see, if we just do our Fibonacci retracement off our previous swing high to swing low, that puts our 2.618 fib extension to $2.88, as well as if we do look at our long-term retracement levels and our Fibonacci extension to the 1.272, that puts us at $2.88 as well. And so since I think that we're going to execute on these extensions, and that since both of those levels were going to be at the same price, I think that gives it enough reason and enough momentum to work its way up there. And so that's my next price target. Now, if the price does start to roll over, definitely pay attention. If we lose $2.16 to $2.18, I will make a video ASAP as soon as I possibly can, of course, because then there are implications that we may look at a fall further down to about $1.89 to $1.90, and then we may be looking at some type of head and shoulders or something of that nature that we'll discuss if that time does come. So definitely be looking forward to see if we can interact with these EMAs, let our MACD, let our RSI start to slow down a bit. One thing I will say is that I do believe that we are still just getting started. You know, that is my firm belief. I'm gonna just go ahead and clear up some of these drawings. I still do believe that we're just getting this thing started. As you can see, we're still in a fantastic uptrend, coming back down, establishing support on this 20 EMA on the weekly, and continuing upwards. And so even if we do pull back down, I still think that there is loads and loads and loads of potential here. Just for example, if we do look at the MACD, we've just entered into bullish territory here. We've just entered back into our green side with some of our green candles, and so there definitely can still be room for a lot of upward potential, and I definitely want to see that we capitalize on that, and that the price does continue to work its way up, as we have now just entered bullish territory on our long-term weekly MACD. So with that being said, guys, that is going to be about it for today's video. I would just go ahead and say that FOMOing in is not the best way to go about this. I think that now that we're setting some of these new all-time highs, that buying in is becoming more and more of a risk. And I hate to say it, but you know, trying to jump on the bus when the bus is going 30 miles per hour down the street may not be the best idea ever, but trying to jump in on the bus stop might be a little bit of the better option there, in my, of course, non-financial advisor opinion. And so definitely do pay attention to how we interact with these RSIs. If you start to see us coil up, maybe even create some type of bull pennant, that can be another good option. If we create some type of bullish pennant here where we're going something like this, and we start to see the price consolidating within a bit of a triangle here, maybe even if we see a breakout to the upside as well, that could serve as a great buying opportunity. Boom, on that breakout. But just buying randomly as we are setting a new high, it definitely does not make the most sense ever, and it may lead to a lot of emotional investing. So I will update you guys as soon as I possibly can. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Hopefully in the next one you guys will actually be able to see me, but I'm sure you guys don't care at the end of the day anyway. But with that being said, guys, I will see you all in the next video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Peace.